Welcome everybody to the best time of the week, one of the best pro wrestling podcast that you have heard or that you should heard or that you're going to hear right now. And what is that, Lionel?
Welcome to this week's episode of Off the Top Rope.
Oh, yeah.
We got to explain what this podcast is, and we're going to get through this quick because we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, there's a lot.
This podcast is for AEW fans by AEW fans. If you saw me on Blue Sky today, I got a little annoyed with people like centering a lot of people who don't even like the product that you're watching. Like, why are you all sharing takes from people who don't watch AEW? It's pay-per-view week. Y'all know that you're going to have like people like Conan, Eric Bischoff. They're all going to talk their shit. That's what they do. So I need y'all to stop centering them and listen to podcasts like us, the Dynamite Diaries. There are a lot of podcasts out there for AEW fans by AEW fans, and this is one of them. So y'all should make sure y'all listen to this one.
Yeah, bookmark it. And, there's other things you could do. We'll get to that too.
Oh, yeah.
But for sure, like, why, you know what time it is. It's pay-per-view week. It's WWE's time to sling mud. Hell, on, the last 4 or 5 episodes of Raw, AEW has been mentioned like 5 or 6 times per episode, including like, tonight's episode I've seen little highlights of. It's pretty damn crazy. It's just that so-called insignificant company, they can't keep the name out the mouth. But we ain't here for that. We're here for the best wrestling company with the best wrestling, AEW.
And let me tell y'all, to get into the normal flow of things, make sure you're following us on Blue Sky. Y'all can, if you're on YouTube right now, you can see what all of our accounts are on Blue Sky. Follow Proffitt at Proffitt. Follow me at Shikoku. And make sure you follow the podcast Blue Sky at TAGPW Podcast. We're all on those accounts all the time. You can hear from us for everything. We talk everything AEW. We talk video games. We talk other pro wrestling. We talk anime. There's a lot of things that we talk about on there. So make sure if you follow one of us, you should be following all of us. So follow all the accounts. On top of that, if you can't watch on YouTube, make sure that you're listening to us on Spotify and Podbean, but really Spotify. You can listen to us on the go. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, you can make sure you have the best wrestling podcast on the planet. The For AEW Fan by AEW Fan podcast. Take us on the go. Tell your friends about it. Tell them to go on Spotify and listen to us also. Proffitt, tell them about the YouTube.
All right, guys. So, as we've mentioned, as you get on the YouTube channel, man, like, there's a few things you can do to get the best wrestling podcast. But not only that, you don't just get the best wrestling podcast, but you get one of the best gaming podcasts and one of the best anime podcasts. Whenever we do the anime one, that one's like season. But you don't get one, you get 3 podcasts. So first thing you should do, subscribe. Because subscribe and hit the bell button. Because that will get you not only this wonderful podcast that's for AEW fans by AEW fans, but it will get you the Command Grab, which is our gaming podcast. It'll get you the OVA, which is our anime podcast, and of course, Off the Top Rope, which you are listening to right now. And towards the end of the episode, tap that like button. Helps us out, helps the algorithm out, and also comment. Because, you know what? I know we say some hot takes. They may be cold takes to you, but who knows, right? Let's get a conversation going on a lot of these topics, and especially today. We got a lot of stuff to go over that's going on in AEW, story-wise, and, just who's getting signed and all kinds of stuff, man. Like, it is an exciting time to be an AEW fan. So, with that, let's get on to the show.
Usually how this podcast works is sometimes we have a little topic that we talk about at first, but a lot of the things that we can more than likely talk about on this episode, everything stems from what happened this week in AEW. We might even talk a little bit Grand Slam Collision because I know I couldn't hop on to record, so we missed out on that. But we could talk about that a little bit maybe. But really, we got a lot to talk about this week, so let's hop right on into it because basically every single segment is gonna have a conversation about it. Let's hop in to that good old AEW Dynamite.
Oh man, look, Dynamite. Dynamite was Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah.
damn good. It was damn good. So, of course, to start it out right, we had Kenny Omega versus Blake Christian. And man, Blake Christian came out there. He got to the ring and stuff like that with Lee Johnson. But when Battle Cry started playing, that crowd got out of their seats. They went nuts, man. They just immediately just got hyped as soon as Kenny came out. So at the start of this match, man, they did something that people probably didn't expect. For a good 5 minutes, they were chain wrestling him and Blake Christian. And man, you got to give props to Blake Christian because he was keeping up with Omega, and you got to give props to Omega because he was keeping up with Christian because we're seeing more and more what toll that injury took on, not injury, but, the diverticulitis took on Kenny and things like that, which doesn't look like it did anything to him. He's a damn machine right now. But here's a few highlights in the match. Like, they did the chain wrestling for a little bit, but like a little bit later on, they were going back and forth, man. Like, Kenny got knocked out of the ring. Christian reached in his pants and flipped him off. All kinds of stuff. But, Kenny kept it short. He hit him with that V trigger. He did a couple snapdragon suplexes, inverted neck breaker, a V trigger, and then finished it off with the one wing angel. And you get hit with the one wing angel, you ain't kicking out. That was it. And that finished the match. Kenny takes the mic and he's mainly hyping up Dynasty. Talking about he has two opponents. And the second he mentions Mike Bailey, guess who comes out? Mike Bailey with that 80s music, man.
It's that sick ass theme. I forget where he said. There's like an expression. I forget where he said it was from, but it's definitely video game related for sure.
Yeah, well, it's between video game related and it's just 80s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of 80s going on because he even has the laser sounds, man. And he comes in the ring. He talks to Omega. He's like, Kenny. And then Kenny's like, Speedball. The weird pause in the beginning. But Mike Bailey has that like weird sensei slow cadence talk that he does. So pretty much he was he told Kenny, he's like, hey, you're an inspiration. I idolize you. But guess what? When we get to the match at Dynasty, I ain't going to hesitate to kick your head off and then take your title. And he's like, he'll take every opportunity to take him out. And then Ricochet interrupts. By the way, congrats, Ricochet, on the wedding.
Big congrats.
Big congrats, man. Especially out here in beautiful Las Vegas.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a second.
So Ricochet interrupts, says he'd be there, but he's getting married. And you know what? He says he's going to walk in and he's going to take whoever out and do whatever he can to become the international champion. And he's going to walk out the champ. And, after that, Kenny tried to interrupt him, but, Ricochet disappeared into the ether. And he's like, what? I told them I'd keep it short. So, he did his thing at the end. And, him and Mike Bailey left the ring. And that was the end of that segment. How did you feel? So with all that went on, what did you think of the match in the segment?
I thought the match was all right. Like, the match was like, it was definitely like a Kenny showcase, right? Blake Christian, yeah. I know a lot of people were kind of like iffy on Blake Christian because of his New Japan run from like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I get it, but I think he's improved a little bit since then. It was an easy match just to get Kenny out there, get the crowd excited. The promo side, though, Kenny, how can I say this? Because when I say this, it's going to sound like an insult, but it's not. It might sound like an insult. Kenny just sounds like a normal motherfucker on a mic. He sounds like how I would sound cutting a promo.
Right.
And I mean that with all of the love in my heart. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying anything like that. But he just talks like a normal person. Like, he's out there. He has the mic. It feels like he never has a plan. He just wants to talk. And Speedball.
Look, man, Speedball, if you guys dig up podcasts from about 2 or 3 months ago, when I was talking, about a little longer than that, when I was talking about TNA, you know how I feel about Speedball talking. And I was shocked they gave him a mic.
They were They were just two Canadian boys in there trying not to be Canadian boys. It was hilarious. And it is a weird thing to say that Ricochet, granted, it was most likely a pre-tape thing, that Ricochet was like the best talker out of the three of them, which is crazy. Ricochet has improved leaps and bounds talking wise since coming to AEW. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm not saying that it was bad. I want to make sure I preface that. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying Kenny and Speedball, they sound like normal people. They don't sound like Kenny is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Speedball is fantastic also. They don't they don't sound like they will kick your head off or like power drive you or one wing angel you into the middle of the dirt. They just sound like two Canadians that, you know, are having a good time talking. It's hilarious. I love it. That's it. That's all I have though.
Yeah, you know, I think it's just for that because like there's times like depending on which Kenny Omega you get, right? Because when he was Best Bout Machine, he was fucking cutthroat, man.
Oh yeah.
So this is I'm glad to be back, Kenny. That's the Kenny Omega we're getting right now.
It's happy to be here, Kenny, and I love it. Like I said, I don't want anyone to think that what I'm saying that Ricochet or not Ricochet, that Speedball and Kenny are awful. It's just they sound like normal people talking on a mic. That's all I'm saying.
It's just like Will Ospreay, right?
Yeah, Ospreay has the worst of all of them because Ospreay really just be talking.
Yeah, he's just dude.
He just be talking.
He's just talking shit. That's all. He's like, what, you need me to talk on the mic? All right, I'll start talking.
I have a story. I'm talking about the misses and being in trouble from doing the smash fly off the top from the top of the cage. I said I was gonna be home, like, but all that, but in a British accent.
Yeah, just all of it in a British accent.
But that's it. Those are my thoughts. That's all I had.
Yeah. So $1 million question is, who do you think walks out Dynasty?
Oh, Kenny. I still fully believe that we're going to Kenny and Okada at All In. I fully believe that. So Kenny has to go over, do this with Speedball and Ricochet. They'll have a great match. It'll be really good. But I think Kenny has in Okada waiting for him at All In.
Yeah, I think Ricochet takes the pin.
Yeah, more than likely, right? I don't think I can see Speedball doing it too, but I feel like Ricochet is the one that's going to get pinned more than likely. But it doesn't hurt him right now because Ricochet looks great right now, no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Ricochet's fine. So after this, we got the Collision recap of Bandito and Jericho. And then it, transitions to Jericho. And he has the whole team there, the whole learning tree there. First off, Jericho, like, kind of pissed off at Big Bill and Brian Keith. And he's like, hey, you've been under the learning tree all this time. You haven't done shit, pretty much. He's like, go out there. He's like, you haven't learned anything. Show me you learned something. Go out there and prove it. And I don't know what they did is if they're making a big mistake or it's just a big payoff. Who knows?
I mean, we're going to get there. But the way that segment was handled when we see them later probably was a mistake.
Yeah. MVP kind of destroyed both of them.
Obliterated.
Yeah. Oof. And then he challenges Bandito. He's like, hey, Bandito, I know you want this Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship again. How about this? My title versus your mask. And so that's the at Dynasty. So we're going to get that match at Dynasty. It's probably going to be on the pre-show, though, if I had to guess.
More than likely, because we get a couple announcements for a couple things that are going to be on the show later this week, right? Like during Collision and Dynamite. So I definitely feel like that's a pre-show match, more than likely.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of, right after this, MJF comes out, and you know what? He immediately, calls MVP out, and MVP comes out, and that theme song is just undeniable, man. And on top of that, it's MVP. It's just, the fans are just going nuts as usual. So he wanted to talk about the card. MJF says that he will join the Hurt Syndicate. And, MVP, he was slowly about to, shake on it and invite him to the Hurt Syndicate. And then the Hurt Syndicate music comes on again. And we got Lashley and Shelton coming out. I don't know what it was, They weren't even wrestling. That crowd came unglued, man, when Shelton and Lashley came out.
Well, Shelton wrestled there in college in
Oh,
Milwaukee.
okay, now
Yeah, that's why they had that like huge when they were standing in the ring. They had that huge Shelton chant.
yeah,
Shelton Benjamin's a legend over there because I don't know if he's like undefeated, but he has like a ton of records in college. You know, like as an amateur, like we've heard the stories about him as an amateur. That's all that.
yeah. Well, he was also like wrestling with Brock Lesnar, who was also another again pretty much a monster. So yeah, they're just monster wrestlers.
Would you say he's a beast incarnate?
I think I would.
Ho 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 ho.
Man, like, well, they were in Minnesota. That's where they were at because later on the hometown boys wrestled. So yeah, they're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, I think was Collision.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They were in Minnesota for both shows, but it was definitely it was two different cities. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, because one of my friends, shout out to my friend Joe, he was out there at Collision. And I was jealous.
You went. Oh, we're gonna talk about how much I love Collision. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Joe, if you're listening, I'm jealous.
Got a fantastic show. Got Athena. Got Jamie Hayter return. Good on you.
Yeah, lucky bastard.
Yeah.
So, Lashley and Shelton come out. Crowd goes completely crazy. Lashley immediately gets in MJF's face. MJF's like, What do you want? Hey, you here to welcome me on the team? And Lashley's like, no, give me the card. And he's like, what? Here. Lashley takes a card and just rips that shit apart in front of his face. And MJF didn't even try to act like he was gonna do something because Lashley put up that big ass fist in front of his face. He was like, well, we'll talk later. And he ran out and, ran away to the back.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, as MJF was running to the back for his life, Big Bill and Brian Keith come out. Man, they got obliterated by fucking MVP, man. Brian Keith started talking, and then like MVP was like, "Hey, tell your bitch to give you the mic," and both of you come to the ring. He's like, "Bring you and your bitch to the ring, so us men can talk real business." And I was like, "Oh God, damn!" And as Big Bill was talking, he said something about, "Hey, I see you don't have any challengers." He's like, "Yeah, we don't." Just completely annihilating them, saying, "Yeah, you're here. We don't even see you as challengers." It was just complete annihilation from MVP. So, the Hurt Syndicate and them walked to the thing and they were like, "Hey, if you want a shot at the titles, you guys got to win a match first as a team. How about you do that and then we can talk?" MVP drops the mic and then they walk to the back. Yeah, so that was in my opinion, that was a good segment. They have a good segment all around. Don't have gaps with MVP. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you gotta know exactly what you're doing. You got it. MVP he didn't get off of either their necks, bro. It was honestly for me, it was kind of hard to watch. I was like, shit, Bill, like Bounty Hunter didn't even get a chance. They said, no, not you. You don't even get to talk. Give it to Big Bill. And then when Big Bill tried, MVP was like, "Nah, you're not good enough either. I'm running you over." And I'm like,
yeah, he ran through both of them, man.
But I don't know if we're gonna talk about the other segment after, but
but we are.
We gotta you know what? We'll do that we'll do that segment then now, and then we'll get into the thoughts with MJF MVP, all that good stuff. Because I have a lot of them.
No, let's get to the MJF MVP segment stuff. Since you're already here, because the next one is Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go into the Hurt Syndicate backstage stuff right after. But yeah, we can do that now then. MJF, you could tell that he was like a little hurt because I think he really did trust MVP because MVP was his boy and they seemed like they were in a good place, right?
Right.
For sure. And it just you could tell he was a little hurt when Lashley took the card and ripped it up. Like he didn't know what was going on. It sounds like MVP didn't know what was going on. Also, it really helps with the Syndicate too, because now we can for sure say, because people were like, oh, who should be the leader? Is Lashley the leader? Is Shelton the leader? There is no leader in the Syndicate. All three of them have a voice. MVP went out there to try to give the card to MJF. Shelton and Lashley were not having it.
Mm-hmm.
So that led to, and what was it? I forget the word now, but they're like, nah, you're not here. MVP might have said something, but you're not. You don't have majority vote. Sorry, you're not here. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what MJF does next. To see this, because I don't know if he's as hurt as with Adam Cole, but there is definitely something here. I definitely want to see how he reacts later, like when we really see him again, not like little promo segment that we got later, but really see him.
Yeah. And yeah, we could talk about the backstage part where pretty much Bobby Lashley was in Shelton Benjamin was like, yo, MJF has done some messed up stuff and you can't trust him because he's going to eventually turn on you. And, MVP was like, yeah, he's done some dastardly stuff and things like that, but that's exactly why we want him in the Syndicate, because it will help us. So it looks like they're going back and forth talking, but no, it's more on the side of Shelton and MVP. Shelton and Bobby going, nah, it ain't happening.
The hottest of vetoes. That's the word I was looking for before veto.
Yeah, it was like, nope, that shit ain't happening.
I think that's so interesting, right? Because I think before this, with the way that the Syndicate has been like kind of presented, it definitely looked like that MVP was making the decisions, right? Because what was it? At Revolution, when Lashley and Shelton were out there like kind of lollygagging against the Outrunners, it was MVP was like, get y'all heads in the game. What are y'all doing? So now to see that they have like, it is a 3-man group. There's veto power. I wonder who is going to be the first person that they add to the Syndicate, because they brought it up again in that segment that you talked about too. They brought up that they've been looking for a fourth. So I really wonder who all three of them would agree on. And I think that helps. That makes it really interesting too, right? Because they've given out cards to like everybody. They've given out a lot of cards, so it's really interesting to see who they're gonna actually like really take in as the fourth member.
Who knows, man? And who knows if they're even here yet?
They might not be. Who knows?
Yeah, like you can maybe make a case for like Kevin Knight to fill that Cedric Alexander role.
Oh yeah, I saw people saying that.
Like you could do that, but I don't think that would work. I think Kevin Knight's just good on his own, just in case Kushida happens to show up, right? So
exactly.
Because where one goes, the other goes for the most part. Yeah, I'll be interested to see who they are going to deem the fourth guy. It could be anybody.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part about this, because now they've taken away so many of the cards that have been given out already. Like what was it? Ricochet, MJF, Leo Rush got one. I'm forgetting some people. Mercedes got one.
Max Caster
got one that got taken away. Like they are giving out a lot of cards, so I really am curious about who, like if anyone, who they bring in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. The Hurt Syndicate storyline is just starting.
That might be more interesting than the tag titles, to be honest. Just to see who they all deem worthy to be in the Syndicate. Because they got to be animal too, right? That person has to be a monster, whoever it is.
Whoever it is.
I got my guess, but that person hasn't gotten a card from them yet. I got my guess though.
All right, who's your guess?
Willow.
Willow will be an interesting one.
I would very much enjoy Willow being in the Syndicate. Very much.
Considering later on she got the Riho pipe, but we're going to talk about that later.
Oh yeah. I don't think it's gonna be Willow though. I really don't know who. It's impossible to guess with them.
Yeah, you just. So that's the interesting part, right? Like, you can't go, oh, it's definitively going to be this person. It's like, nope. It's going to be somebody. It could be somebody else. Who knows?
Only requirement, like I said, only requirement, they got to be black. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about it. Got to be black. That's just how it works. I'm sorry.
Well, what's his name in MLW didn't re-sign with Mr. Thomas? I would take those two.
Talking about Bombay again?
Yep, Alex Kane, man, come on.
Alex Kane would be a fantastic fourth member, by the way.
He would be ridiculous.
We can get him. We can get the big bad kaiju. He's kind of bigger than both Shelton and Lashley, but that would also be great.
And that you can get that one really big dude in DPW. I think his name is. I have to look it up. I'm not gonna mess it up.
I'm thinking about LeBron. It's not LeBron. I forget what his last name is.
It's the dude that's the
one that's been the champion for a long time, right? Or that was the champion for a long time.
That was the champion for a long time. Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
I saw my first match of his. Who did he wrestle? I think he wrestled one of the people from Violence is Forever. I forget which one for the DPW World Championship, like a long time ago, like a year ago. That was a damn good match too.
Look, you look at that guy and you're like, oh, he's a pretty good big guy. You think he'll wrestle like fucking Yokozuna or some shit? No, it is the exact opposite. That guy can go for like 30, 45-minute matches. At his size, it is ridiculous.
What, Bojack, right?
I think so.
Is it Bojack? I had to find out real quick. Hold on. Before we move on, because this is gonna bother me now. Yeah, it is Bojack. It is Bojack.
Yeah.
The dude with like the long ass dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long locks. Yeah.
Like what, 350 pounds or something like that?
6 foot 350.
That dude can move. He can go, man. Like
that motherfucker was born in the year 2000. He is 25 years old.
Bullshit,
bro. That is wild.
That is wild. That guy's really good. So yeah.
If y'all haven't looked up Bojack and this is your first time hearing about him, let me tell you, take some time and go watch the match from Bojack, because you will be.
Yeah, I would say it's like almost like watching Shane Taylor wrestle.
Honestly, yeah, I get you. I get that.
Yeah, but I think he's just like weird to say, right? You got these 350, 400-pound guys. He's a little more agile than the other one. One's more agile than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's definitely check out Bojack if you haven't checked him out.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
I'm looking. I know. I'm like really, really making this go longer than it needs to be, and I apologize. But they had another monster as a DPW World Champion that I don't think I've seen. Calvin Tankman.
Oh shit, yeah.
Also 350. Also former DPW World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it. Look. Let me tell you. I have both of them side to side. They look like they can rival the Syndicate right now.
Well, no, the Syndicate will have a problem. Let me tell you, with those two motherfuckers, man, they would have a problem.
I don't think I've seen Calvin Tankman wrestle. I think I need to.
You do. You need to watch him wrestle.
It looks like he wrestled. I need to watch that match. Apparently, he had a match with Jake something for the DPW World Championship in October. Yeah, I need to find that. I need to watch that.
Calvin Tankman can go, man. It's another guy that's like just this gigantic dude that can wrestle for 45 minutes an hour. Got that Dusty Rhodes stamina, man.
Funny enough, him and Bojack had the exact same days reigned as DPW World Champion too, by the way.
That's hilarious.
Calvin had double the defenses, though. Calvin Tankman had 12 defenses, according to this. Bojack had 6. All right, but I'm gonna do this later. I've derailed us enough. Sorry, y'all had to deal with my ADHD, the ADHD stuff coming out in like droves now, but we can move on.
Okay. So next up, getting back on track. The next segment was probably one of the most hilarious segments. It was Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. Yeah, like for the most part, like, they were kind of bullshitting around. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, at one point, Thunder Rosa's talking, and she's like, "Then we're gonna show them what Thunderstorm is all about." And Toni Storm's like, "No. We're not Thunderstorm, we're Thunder Tits." Oh my god. And when they went back to the crowd was chanting Thunder Tits the whole time. I was like, oh my god.
Hell yeah.
But there's something I commented on Blue Sky, and I just want to kind of discuss it here. Thunder Rosa, every time she talks about going for the world title, she always mentions the title that she never lost. Which, yeah, she didn't lose it, but here's the asterisk, Okay? That time it's gone. You got a number one contendership, went and fought for the championship and lost. So you technically did lose the title. At that point, you've lost. There's no more.
Yeah, she got her rematch from her, or not a rematch, but she got a match from Mariah May for it.
Right. Mariah May beat her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, not just once, Mariah May beat her twice. Saying it's the title you never lost. In all technicality, yes, you didn't lose the title. But when you fight the former champion and lose, you have officially lost. So now you are going on your second reign. That's what it should be. I'm going to be the two-time women's champion instead of the going back for the title I never lost. Stop that right now. Quit it.
Yeah, that's true, right? Because usually a lot of people, when they do that, there are a lot of people like, I've never lost a title. They get their chance, and then they lose, and they don't really talk about that being the title that they never lost again.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Thunder, she wants to keep doing it, she keeps doing it, but yeah, realistically, she got her rematch and she did not win. So
yeah, so if she got the rematch and won, or she never got the rematch, then yes, she has a valid point there. But she got the rematch and lost. Therefore, you can't claim you've never lost a title, right? At that point, you just can't claim it.
yeah.
So we just need to switch the wording around, Thunder. Just change it to you're working on becoming a two-time women's champion. That's all you got to do. And hey, you guys know I love me some Thunder Rosa. I ain't bagging on her. I'm just pointing something out that the I never lost a title thing just doesn't have any weight. It doesn't have any weight at all.
Yeah, not
After she lost to Mariah May, that it's kind of done. It's a done deal, right?
yeah, no, I agree with you.
So right after this, we got another banger of a match. We had Brody King versus Kyle Fletcher. And let me tell you, man, so Kyle Fletcher in the beginning of the match just immediately went at Brody King. I think I would have did the same thing too. Jump him and try to beat the hell out of him so he doesn't get up. That's what I would have done. That guy's too big and too angry. So after he, jumps Brody King, he gets in the middle of the ring and, he has those snap pants where, the track pants where you just snap them off. So he snaps those off and he starts flexing in the middle in the ring. Well, he didn't make sure Brody King was down enough. So Brody King gets behind him and then completely beats the shit out of Kyle Fletcher for about 5 minutes with chops. Every time you looked up, Brody King was slinging those chops, man. Eventually, Fletcher comes back and then gets and what is it? They both get knocked out. No, I think just Fletcher gets knocked out of the ring because Brody's still beating the crap out of him after he came back for like a second. So Kyle Fletcher gets knocked out of the ring. Of course, I'm on HBO, so I get the fucking commercial break. We come back and it's complete reverse. Fletcher is on has the upper hand and he's beaten up Brody King, and Mark Davis comes out. Mark Davis is out there, and he helps. So Mark Davis comes out, and eventually that's what helps Kyle Fletcher win the match. They both get on the top rope. Kyle Fletcher, he gets knocked off. Mark Davis is like kind of distracting. Kyle Fletcher goes back up, hits Brody King, hits the brain buster on the turnbuckle, and gets the win. Immediately after the match, Mark Davis and Fletcher beat the crap or just laying into Brody King while he's down. Well, this completely transitions to who is Mark Davis going to face supposedly later tonight? Well, it's right now. It's Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs comes in and he more than evens the odds. He messes up Mark Davis, knocks him out of the ring. Brody King gets up. He clotheslines Kyle Fletcher, and they both fly out. And as we saw, like Mark Davis and Hobbs, they were getting separated by security. So one of the security guys, Von Wagner,
I saw people know. So I was like, oh snap, that's cool.
I'm like, oh shit, that's Von Wagner. You can't. No way you can't recognize him. That dude's like 20 feet tall. You have all these short security guards, and this guy's like a giant. It's like, oh, but he got the shit knocked out of him by Hobbs, so it doesn't matter. So they get all the security out of there, They ring the bell, and this was just a Meat Mania match, man. It was short. They hit each other hard, but ultimately, Hobbs got the win by the spine buster. He had to do it twice because they fucked up the first time. Well, I won't say fucked up. There was a miscommunication. They messed up the first spine buster. I guess it might have been like Davis didn't get the cue that they were ending the match or something like. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
And then Hobbs does it again. Pulls him in, does the spine buster, and then pins him. So yeah, that was the end of that match. And, man. So with those two matches back to back, what did you think?
First off, I want to talk about the transition. I love the AEW is like continue to do this like double match transition they've been doing lately, where like one match lead directly into the other. They've been doing that for a while now, and I love that. I want them to keep doing this. And I want them to incorporate like the women into this one also. Like if you have the Death Riders out there and Marina's doing something, Marina gets to wrestle this week finally, by the way. But
Finally.
do a transition, make this happen. This is great. Keep on doing this. The main match I want to talk about though, for sure, is Fletcher and Brody. Because they did not have to deliver an insane match like they did. They did not have to do that, but they did. And God bless. That was Kyle's return match too. I'm ready for Brody King to like kind of break out a little bit though. To be honest, like I feel like it's time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He needs one of these big wins. I know he's always positioned as someone who can beat anybody, and he was on top for a good amount of this match.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I kind of, with my description of the match, I undersold it.
Oh no, you're all good, bro. You're all
There's
good.
this match was damn good. They went in and yeah, to second what you said, they didn't have to deliver like this, but they delivered.
Oh yeah, it was a fantastic match. Like it, and the fact that I was not expecting Kyle Fletcher to be able to get Brody King up, even if it was like for like a split second to do that turnbuckle brainbuster.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect him to get him up at all, but he did. And I mean, Kyle Fletcher, he like ragdolled down and looked like he almost died also after doing it. But that match was just great. Like I said, I am ready. Brody definitely needs to win some of these big matches, and I think it's time. I think it's time
Yeah.
for sure. Like I don't know who should be first, but I would love to see Brody get like a big win in a situation like this.
It's interesting, right? I almost feel like he's in a little bit of a limbo. They keep him relevant. They keep him in there. He's relevant. 1 minute in the Hounds of Hell is always wrestling. He's relevant until the other one comes back. Like, Buddy comes back, right?
Yeah.
I feel like all right, you mark your calendars or whatever and mark the thing. I feel like the Hounds of Hell are going to get catapulted once they're both back, once Buddy's back.
You think them tag titles?
I'm thinking they're going to get shot up to the tag titles. And they might even win the tag titles.
I'm not
That's
gonna
what
lie.
I'm feeling.
I'm not gonna lie. I would enjoy that. Like, let Syndicate do their thing for a little while, right? Buddy gets back. They do a couple matches here and there, and then they eventually, like in like 6-7 months, depending on when Brody comes back, get a shot at the Syndicate and take the win. I would love that.
Yeah, I think so. In my warped brain, there's only 3 teams that can beat the Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4. We'll just say 4. Okay.
Okay.
Those 4 teams are Murder Machines, FTR, the Bucks, and the Hounds of Hell.
Is there another one that I don't think they really built up any other teams that can? Well, the Bucks are the Bucks, right? The Bucks can be any team. Same with FTR. FTR and the Bucks are just they will always be like the upper echelon of the tag division. Like they can be anyone at any time. They can be tag champions at any time against anyone, right?
Yeah.
Hounds of Hell. It feels like it low key feels like what they kind of did with Swerve, and I know I said like a couple months ago, like, oh yeah, no, Swerve things in the back burner. We're gonna come back to it eventually. I still think we will, but it is a little weird that they did that a little bit. Swerve got his ass beat by Bobby. Like I said, I think they're gonna go back to it eventually. They will. They have to. But hopefully it's not like a situation like that where the Syndicate screwed the Murder Machines out of a tag title shot, and that's what they did. Remember this, y'all. They screwed the Murder Machines out of a tag title match.
Right.
And they're like nowhere around the tag title scene right now. Like they're still tagging, still doing stuff, but they're nowhere around the titles right now, which is weird. I think they're going to come back eventually, but it definitely should be sooner rather than later. Like they definitely could have got the match during Revolution. Like, as much as I love the Outrunners, that's the game. The Outrunners, that's the game. As much as I love the Outrunners, like I still think that they were not ready for that tag title spot. And as much as I enjoy them, it's just the Murder Machines, they would have been a great fit right there. And, at some point, they can always circle back, because it's not like you lose once. You don't have to, that doesn't mean you're gone forever. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm in full agreement with you. I think those are the 4 teams that can for sure take the crown from the Syndicate.
Yeah. And actually, I'm just going to throw it out there. Hey, TK, you listen. I know you listen. Tag team tournament, my man. We need one. We're getting all the singles tournaments. Those are great. Those are fantastic. I love tournament season.
What if Tony Khan's listening right now and he already had planned to like get a tag tournament like out there next week, and then this is one of those times where we're just like a week ahead, and he's listening. He's sitting there like, these motherfuckers did it again.
Just flips the table. I'm going to wait 2 weeks now to announce it.
Cancel the tag tournament. They did it again. they're getting too close all the time. Cancel the tag tournament. We'll do it after All In now instead.
I feel like, but to also reinvigorate that, even that division even more, get more eyes on more tag teams and stuff like that, because we're getting more teams. We have Commander Hologram tag team. We have the Crew, which I'm going to get to them later. My current hate for that team right now, but
we're going to disagree on that. It's going to be fun.
Well, it's not the hate that you think.
Okay.
It's a different type of. It's a very specific thing.
Oh, okay.
I like Andretti and Leo Rush. By the way, it's just what they're doing is what I hate.
Okay, I see what you're talking. Yeah, we'll get there for sure.
Yeah, we'll get there. We still got the the Patriarchy with Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. They they're a tag team. We've got the Ops. Well, Ops are going for them trios. So they're the trio shoe in right now.
Yeah, we got a nice little trios division right now too, which is nice.
Yeah, we got Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly. Holy shit! I almost called him Kyle Fletcher. Kyle O'Reilly.
Roddy Strong and Kyle Fletcher would be a dope ass tag team, though.
Oh, that would be a sick ass team. There's no lies about that. But I want to see if Kyle Fletcher teaming up with anyone, it better be with Mark Davis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're like you just talked about in this match, right? We're getting more interactions with them right now, and it seems like Kyle Fletcher, like this might be just I might just be making this up in my head because I want to see Aussie Open together again, but it seems like Kyle Fletcher is definitely softening up on Mark Davis, and like I said, it's probably not true because they didn't really interact. Like Mark Davis came out to help Kyle Fletcher. Like he didn't really do anything. But in my head, I was like, up their team again. We're back. They're together.
We're back. Tell everybody we back up.
If you want my number one pick to beat the Syndicate for the tag titles, it would be Aussie Open. For sure.
If they put Aussie Open back together, then they would be the 15.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
For sure. But because you got this new Kyle Fletcher, we don't have that old skinny Kyle Fletcher. We got this beast Kyle Fletcher now. With Mark Davis, who was coming out and just like being a crazed Australian monster right now. So yeah, except you guys asked me by Hobbs, but
yeah, that's why I kind of don't want to talk about that match too much because it was definitely a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than it was, but
yeah, they're kind of
what
cut
it is.
Time, I would guess.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, that was still a fun match though. But yeah, no, like I would like to see any of those teams, but I'd also like to see a tag tournament with all these teams interacting and doing stuff so we get more eyes on the stuff. And you got a wild private party in the background. They're starting to wrestle again after the little break. We got teams.
There are a lot of teams out there, like a lot of teams that we didn't even talk about, right, that they can build up. We can find a way to build up Top Flight, right? They've been on TV lately. We're going to talk about them pretty soon. We have MXM that they can build up at any time. Right? They have grizzled young vets on the roster, by the way.
Yes.
And they're in Ring of Honor, right? if you wanted to, I don't agree with this one, but Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, that could be another one also that you really want to build up if you wanted to. They have the teams. It's just about now they gotta book around the division again. That's just kind of what they gotta do. And right now, it's, if we're gonna be honest, it's kind of one note right now, which is, it is what it is. We have a team that comes up against them, MVP runs them down, and then eventually once they get the match with the Syndicate, they get run down by Shelton and Bobby Lashley. But
Yeah.
I feel like at some point pretty soon, they have to have a big feud for the tag titles coming in at All In, right? So
Yeah.
I think we'll get a really good story focus pretty soon on the tag titles.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But Toni, tag tournament, get it done, guy.
I'm telling you, he's gonna be upset. He was like, I was gonna do this for All In, but y'all fucked it up. Y'all did it again. Cancel the tag tournament. Now because you're gonna get the Outrunners and the Syndicate Part 2. This time it's only gonna be 4 minutes.
Don't you do that to me. No, don't you put that bad luck on us, man. But let's see. Okay, so next up, we got the Patriarchy with Lexi Nair. This was all Nick Wayne talking, man. Which is he's breaking out. They let Billy Starks go. Now they're letting Nick Wayne do his thing now too.
Oh yeah.
Nick Wayne is he's looking like the new leader of the Patriarchy at the moment. So Nick Wayne, he's pretty much saying, "Hey, you know what? I interrupted. I did what I did. We did what we did to show everybody what would have happened if the plan would have got properly executed." And that was just the main thing. He pretty much said that and just left. And only for him and Mother Wayne left, and then Kip Sabian was like, and he just kept going. Now, next up, the next little segment we got is the most interesting. Renee is with Hangman.
Yeah.
And she's starting to talk to Hangman, and Swerve rolls up on him. And Swerve interrupts, and he's asking Hangman, he's like, yo, what is this I hear about you you're going to interfere in my title shot? He's like, look, I'm going to warn you right now. You know how dangerous I am, and you know what I'll do to you. You know where I'll take it. Don't interrupt my title, my title shot. And Nana, pretty much carried Swerve away. And Hangman and Renee were like, Hangman was mostly, oh shit, what did I do? That's the look he had on his face.
Hangman was like, bitch, did I stutter?
Yeah, he said that first. He was like, yeah, you're damn right. And then Swerve's like, no, you know how dangerous I am. You know what I'll do. Don't get in the middle of my title match. So that's going to be interesting to see whether or not Hangman does something to Swerve.
Listen, I could talk about the segment for 30 minutes alone, but I won't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer y'all to another video that we already did a few weeks ago. Talking about how you and I were talking about that they've already been building Hangman and Swerve. People think, oh, it's going to be Swerve and Ospreay. Signs right now and signs a few weeks ago when we made that video pointed to Hangman, Swerve, All In main event.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we talked about that at length. It's even its own video. So if y'all want to hear our thoughts on that, you can go over there because they have not changed because we were right.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll do one even better for you guys. I'll link it in the description so you guys can jump to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's coming full circle. And look, Swerve wins at Dynasty. Do not be surprised if Hangman wins the Owen.
Mm-hmm.
So if Swerve wins at Dynasty, don't be surprised if Hangman wins the Owen. And dogs are going crazy. Hopefully that didn't go into the mic, but
if I can find this part and I can cut. Actually, I think I can. Can I mark this? Let's see. There you go. I have it marked, so I can come back. I can just cut this one myself, so we're good.
And let's see. Yeah, that kind of threw me off. All right. So next up, we have Tony Schiavone with an awkward interview. It is with Cope, Dax, and Cash. The beginning of the interview, Dax was pretty much he was the one doing all the talking in the beginning. He was just rattling off. There was it was just some deranged dude, just old guy just talking.
Oh yeah.
So he was pretty much saying that he was pissed at Cope for pretty much for failing. He's like, hey, we dedicated 4 months to helping your ass out, and you failed. And when we could have been going for the tag titles, because that's our goal, right? And, you diverted us from our goal, which was the tag titles, pretty much, from the start. And he's like, you know what? And then Cope interrupted him. He's like, well, I didn't divert you from anything. I was helping you out because the last time anybody saw you, you had bags over your heads and you were getting beat up by the Death Riders. So I was just helping you out, which was true. Cope was helping out. He didn't tell them to come and help him or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then Cash jumps in a little bit after that, and then he says, hey, you know what, guys? We should go for the trios titles. Right at FCR should go for the trios titles. Dax was hesitant, but he said, okay. And, that was pretty much the end of that segment. But I have a feeling. I feel like Cope's going to take the pin on this, and then both FTR, they're going to shatter machine him at the end. The thing I thought was going to happen last time is going to happen this time, after they lose to the Death Riders for the trios.
Man, I'm going to be honest.
What's
I do not care about Adam Copeland, FTR, can they coexist storyline. The reasons that they're doing it make a lot of sense. Like, this makes sense. Dax wants to go after the tag titles. He wants that to be the main focus. Cash, they're not on the same page right now. Cash still wants to be with Copeland. They're all three of them best friends, and they want to go after trios. But like I said, I do not care about them wanting to do this. Like, I want them to win the trios championships. Don't get me wrong. Just get off the Death Riders, because I know they'll wrestle a lot more than Death Riders do, right? But at the same time, I don't think we need this added drama between Dax and Cash. Like, and again, like I'm saying, like the reasons are there, and this makes logical sense. I just don't care.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just, I feel like they should have just all went their, FTR went their separate way and Cope went his way, right?
That's what I thought was going to happen.
That's what I thought was going to happen when Cash was talking about it. And, well, not Cash, Dax was doing his thing and talking about it. And it was like, well, they're not going to do that. They go for the trios. This is just a longer version of what we all know is going to happen. They're going to get pissed at Cope and then just knock him out and then go for the tag titles.
Yeah, but no, they wouldn't be able to go for tag titles right away, right? They'd have to deal with what's going on with Copeland, unless Copeland goes away for a little while. And I don't really see Copeland like taking a break right now. I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah.
So like there are threads where it can go. It's just they need to make this interesting, because if we're gonna be honest, and we've talked about it. We've talked a lot. We and a lot of AEW fans have talked bad about the Death Riders and the storyline, stuff like that. It takes two to tango. Like we didn't really care about the Death Riders, but we also didn't really care about Copeland win the world title, right? We didn't really care about FTR and Cope winning the trios titles. It would be interesting now without all this, but that's just my opinion. We'll see where it goes. I feel like Dynasty might make it interesting, like you said. Like they might do the turn there, which will make sense, and then Copeland will need to find somebody, and then that's how we get this whole like Copeland, Cage, FTR storyline where they're all kind of beefing. Eventually, we get Cope and Christian together again, and we get a tag match, which would be glorious.
Yeah. No, hey, we'll see where it goes. Like, but that pretty much mean Cope turns into a bad guy.
I think see, here's what I think, because they're setting it up already, because with the Patriarchy, Christian hasn't been there with the Patriarchy in a while. The Patriarchy could turn on Christian, and we prop Christian up to be a babyface again, and Cope goes to help him because they're lifelong friends, right? And they've already talked about Cope's already talked about, like, I get Christian Cage doing what he's doing, but he's still my friend or whatever. So there's a road there, and they're already kind of setting it up. It's just about getting there.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I do see Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, specifically Nick Wayne, kicking Christian out of the Patriarchy. And maybe it might be Nick Wayne with Luchasaurus or Kill Switch.
Yeah, eventually it'll be Luchasaurus again eventually.
Yeah. So
it's right there, right? Like the signs are there. It's just if they're going to pull the trigger on it or not. Because at some point, like the whole reason Copeland came here was to work with Christian. Like, so eventually they're going to have to, and this is probably the best situation that we can, because there's beef with the Patriarchy. There's beef with Rated FTR. It's right there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll see. It's interesting how they'll get there. That's what I'm interested in seeing.
Mm-hmm. We're close though. I think we're close.
Yeah, we're pretty close. Because I think like Dynasty shit's gonna go down.
It has to, right? Like we've been waiting for FTR to turn heel. It's right there, right? Dax is already doing it. Cash is like, oh, I don't know, and you know he's gonna turn. You know the Patriarchy is gonna turn on Christian, or shit, who knows? Christian might turn on them. We don't know, but we know the Patriarchy is pretty close to being done, more than likely. Like there's a lot of things in play, and that I think that will make me care about it. Get caught with Christian, I'll care again.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
Man, yeah, I'm just interested in how we get there. That's the main thing.
Same. I agree.
So after this, we got Swerve.
Oh God, that's right, this segment.
So Swerve comes out and immediately calls out Jon Moxley. He's like, hey, get your ass out here now. Talk to me face to face. So, Mox comes to the ring. Swerve is pretty much telling, Mox, hey, I was distracted for the past 6 months or so. I let you go for far too long and let you have this AEW title for far too long without me coming after you. So, pretty much, I'm coming after you now. And he started talking about why Moxley keeps the title hidden. And he was, pretty much saying the reason why Moxley keeps the title hidden away is because Moxley can't see himself holding the title, can't see himself as a champion. And, Mox retorts, he pretty much says, hey, Swerve, you're pretty much that guy I've been looking for. That person I would, I would lose the championship to and know it's in good hands. But it ain't going to be for free. You're going to work for this title. And he was pretty much saying, how far are you going to go? How far are you going to take it? Now I'm sitting there like, Mox, this is the one guy you don't say that to. He's the most dangerous man for a reason. He's willing to take it to the highest level.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't got to worry about that there. And, as he was talking, Marina Shafir popped up and she had a crowbar. And then Willow popped up with a lead pipe, or just a pipe. Riho's pipe. She got Riho's pipe, man. And, Swerve was like, hey, how's it? He's pretty much saying, hey, how's it feel to be outsmarted? So if you'll go against somebody just as smart as you are. He's like, Swerve was showing, I got counter for your counter. So, they start leaving the ring, and then Marina Shafir goes off and starts attacking Willow. Willow fights back, and they were, I don't know. It looked like they were trying to kill each other, man. Nana had trouble holding Willow back. We'll just say that. Willow was trying to get her some. She was hitting. I think it was what she was hitting Mox in the back of the head as he was carrying Marina Shafir out.
And Mox did that the dad point.
Yeah, he's like, hey, stop it.
You're doing too much right now, Willow.
You're going crazy, Willow. Willow's pissed, man. Willow reached down deep and got mad. So there was no smiley face there, I'll tell you that.
You saying she hurts people?
I might be, but we'll see on the match on Dynamite. But yeah, that's a short little summary of what happened. What'd you think?
Man, okay, I'm gonna make this short as possible, because this is another one I can gush on for 30 minutes. But short and sweet, Willow and Swerve make the Death Riders infinitely more interesting. We even see it on Collision, right? The stuff on Collision was better with the Death Riders. This segment was probably the best Death Rider segment we've seen since they took out Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
This was fantastic all around. I feel like now a lot of the reason the Death Rider stuff hasn't been great, other than Moxley, is the fact that none of us were invested into the people to beat him.
Right.
No offense to anyone who challenged Moxley before this, right? But we got a Hobbs, we got a Copeland, we have low key Jay White too, kinda. And I hate saying that, but a lot of the people who were after the Death Riders were just not as interesting as Swerve and Willow are. And we've been waiting on this Willow Marina thing for months. It's been months this has been building up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other thing too is everybody else seems kind of like fodder, right?
Honestly, yeah.
The only one that didn't was Copeland, right? Because he actually went at them in, he incapacitated the trios team so he could get a chance at Moxley. He was the only one that actually went after him.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of like ran into a brick wall and got handled.
Jay White was the worst about it. Like Jay White
Yeah.
literally ran into the brick wall multiple times. He was out there by himself every week fighting them.
So, I mean, Swerve is doing it in a different way. Swerve is doing it his way, where he's kind of checkmating him, right? Playing chess with them instead of everybody else playing checkers.
Yeah, a lot more methodical. Hell yeah.
So, yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic. We're gonna see what happens on Dynasty, though, because like we haven't seen who is going to take out the trio team. Because there's always going to be a Wheeler Yuta coming in with the psycho knee. There's always going to be a Claudio and Pac jumping in at some point. We have Marina covered because it's Marina and Willow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who's going to answer the other 3 Death Riders?
I feel like our answer is going to come from that trios match that we talked about earlier, right? But me and you are both on the same page there. We assume that the Death Riders are probably going to win that. And if the Death Riders win that, they're more than likely going to be freed up to go help Moxley.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see.
I have one more question for you for move off of this one.
Yeah.
Do you, honestly, like in your opinion, do you think the AEW online audience would explode if Swerve does not win the world title on Sunday?
Oh, my God.
I am afraid of what might happen online if, and online doesn't really matter, right? I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah. I'm afraid to see what's going to happen if Moxley retains on Sunday.
Ugh, it's not going to... I'm not going to say it's not going to go well. There's going to be people that understand why.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. I don't watch the show anyway, but blah, Moxley is the champion still.
Yeah, fuck those people.
Right? So you're going to get them... They're going to be the most vocal. Those are the ones that are most vocal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to see how it happens, right? If it's just like a general Death Riders match where, which it mirrors a Bloodline match where everybody jumps in and then Moxley wins, then, I feel there's going to be a lot of discourse.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to creatively think of a way to end this match if Moxley's going to retain. Is he just going to flat out retain? Or is somebody going to interrupt like Hangman? What's going to happen, right? Like, you got to creatively do this in a way that's different from all the other Moxley Death Riders matches.
This also, like, in a way, too, this also kind of hurts Swerve. Well, not hurts. I don't want to say hurts isn't like the wrestling term hurts. I'm talking about, like, hurts because if Swerve were to lose... Oh yeah, he can just on the Owen. He can't because the Owen's gonna start on Sunday. So like we get the brackets on Wednesday. So more than likely Swerve's not gonna be in the Owen. So that means Swerve wouldn't get another chance at the world title. At least not for a while.
Yeah, not for a while.
I think that's the rough part about this is I think everyone is like super behind Swerve because I think everyone fully understands that Swerve is like the guy in AEW, right? Like Swerve, he's the franchise for a reason. And I think that's why a lot of people are afraid of what might happen if he loses. I mean, if he loses, we're most likely going to get Ospreay and Moxley. And for sure, like, this is not going past All In. Like, no matter what we say, this is not going past All In Texas.
No, not at all.
But having to get there, we have to suffer another, like, 3. And I know I said I wasn't going to talk bad about Moxley and title reign anymore. After the whole Spike thing, but we got to be honest. We got to keep a spade a spade. It is hard to keep this up for another 3 months before Ospreay can get it if Moxley wins.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. So Moxley retaining is, of course, it's going to get discourse. There's no way around it.
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing that's gonna have to happen is somebody's gonna have to make that title turn into, like, I don't know, like, he's going to have to do something to make that title turn more favorable in a way, like his title reign turn more favorable. in this whole Death Rider storyline.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if Moxley, like with how Moxley's been playing this, I don't think he wants to do anything else. Like the most interesting stuff is with Swerve, but if Swerve loses, like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no idea.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we'll probably be talking more about this during the Dynasty, our Dynasty podcast, because like we'll have whoever wins the main event of Dynasty is going to be in the main event of All In. Like I don't see like Swerve beating Moxley in like mid April for the world title out of nowhere. Whoever wins this match is gonna be in the main event, and that's gonna set up our main event for All In. But it's just about, does AEW want Moxley to be main evented and lose the title there, or do we want to like call a possible audible, get Swerve in there and let Swerve do his second All In main event? Like it's gonna be interesting to see what AEW decides to do.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with this. There's just, it's a hard call, really hard call.
Yeah.
With that though, right after this, we have Samoa Joe with Shibata, one of the best segments of the night.
Oh yeah.
Joe and Hook are talking, and of course Shibata's recording, and he's like, Hook's like, yeah, man, that match last week, when I choked him out, it was kind of fun. And Samoa Joe looked at him and was like, fun? It's like, yeah, well, Max, he's kind of annoying. So choking him out to shut him up, it was kind of fun. And then Samoa Joe's like, all right, bet. And he's looking, and he sees Max Caster, and Max Caster is talking to Top Flight, trying to convince one of them to be the next opponent for the Max Caster, the Max Caster Open Challenge. And all of a sudden he looks up, he's like, hey Shibata, how's it going, man? And then Samoa Joe sneaks up behind him and chokes him out. And then he looks at Hook, he's like, yeah, you know what? That was kind of fun. And then they all walk on while he's like, he says what's up to Top Flight and shit like that. And it just pans out. I think that segment was funny as hell.
I love that segment. Yeah, I agree. It was fun.
Right after this, Jay White issues an open challenge and also enters the Owen Hart tournament. So we're going to see. We're going to get
the one person in the Owen who everyone knows is not going to win it, sadly.
But we're going to get Ospreay versus Jay White.
Possibility.
It's going to be in the semis. That's my prediction. We're going to get Ospreay, Jay White in the semis.
So you're thinking Hangman Ospreay finals?
Yeah.
Makes the most sense, right?
But we're still down 2 competitors for the men's.
Yeah, the women's bracket, after we talk about on Collision, is pretty much full, right?
Yeah,
it has to be 8 people, so we'll see.
Yeah, we have 6 for the men's.
Do we have 6? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, because we got a couple entrants on Collision. That's right.
Yeah, so we have 6 for the men's and all 8 of the women's. The women's one is stacked.
Ridiculous.
It's so good. So, right after this, the Hometown Boys Top Flight with AR Fox backing them up in the corner versus Alex Finley and Devo Knight. That was a quick match. Hometown Boys came in, clean house, one with a splash. After they won, though, you could see Brian Keith and Big Bill watching. They were watching the match, scouting them out. And, of course, they're still beefing with the crew. So we get to the crew now, and my issue with it. The crew already beat them, man. They have no reason to be messing with Top Flight anymore. If anything, they should be getting in the ring and, challenging other people. They're just going to beat Top Flight again. Like, they have no reason to fight Top Flight.
I fully agree with you, but I can guarantee I know the reason why this is still going on.
Probably keep them on TV. That's why.
Yeah. The Top Flight has been the most interesting with their feud with the crew. Right. So instead of ending that like they should have a few months ago, keep them around, have it be like an internal beef, make Top Flight seem interesting, and get that win back. That's my guess.
Yeah. I don't even think they get the win back.
They shouldn't, but...
They shouldn't at all. Because, the crew... I don't think the crew has wrestled anybody yet.
They did...
Officially as the crew.
Yeah, officially as the crew, no. They did have, like, the main match that they had. Again, they weren't as the crew, though. But
Yeah,
it was the tag title match against Private Party.
yeah, which they beat Top Flight for.
Yeah, it was to be Top Flight for, and then
Yeah,
they had been gone. So we'll see.
yeah, they were out. They're driving their Lamborghini across California, and then they decided to make themselves the Crew. But as the Crew, they have not wrestled any matches.
All they have done is be mean to Top Flight. That is
Yes,
it.
right, and that's my beef. My current beef with the Crew.
I'm with you on
That's
that,
it.
though. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. They definitely should be on. The Crew definitely should be doing something different. If they're not doing something different, they should have like actually gone at Top Flight. But we'll
Yeah.
talk about them more on Collision too, because there's another Top Flight and Crew Collision segment.
Yeah, oh, man. So, after this, we got a little thing showing Ospreay's returning next week, which is Wednesday for us right now, and we get Mark Briscoe versus Takeshita.
Whew.
This was a barn burner, man. Holy shit, this was a damn good match. This was one I took the most notes on. Believe it or not.
I get it though.
So starts out, Briscoe gets the upper hand right away. He's in redneck kung fu mode. And once he goes in that mode, he's hard to stop. He was hitting Takeshita with the redneck kung fu greatest hits, the chops, the kick, everything. But he got caught. Takeshita caught him with the elbow. He decided to go to the top rope to try to do the froggy bow. Takeshita immediately got up and caught him with the elbow. Right after this, Takeshita took control, hitting a ton of big moves. German suplex, DDT on the apron, and then, of course, we went to goddamn break. Thank you, HBO. Thank you. And we come back to Takeshita and Briscoe on the top. They're both on the top rope. Briscoe bites Takeshita and looks like he spits out something. I don't know. It might have been Takeshita flesh. Who knows? So he bites Takeshita, pushes him off the top rope, hits a big drop kick off the top rope. The current thing that you're watching right now. After that, Briscoe goes crazy, hits a ton of chops, he knocks Takeshita out of the ring, and then he just starts doing a series of dives. He does the Zenton dive, he does the tope suicida outside the ring. He was jumping and doing all kinds of stuff. At one point in time, he gets back into the ring and tries to hit the froggy bow. Takeshita dodges it, hits a big ass German suplex, and Briscoe gets up, almost unfazed. Well, he wasn't unfazed. That adrenaline was going, and he hits a big ass clothesline. And they're both down for a minute. They both get up, and then they start exchanging exploder suplexes. Like, who does that? Well, these psychopaths, man, exchanging exploders.
I love them for that.
So good. And so Briscoe gets up, hit, and eventually, that last exploder that he does, he then goes and picks up Takeshita, hits him with the J Driller, and unfortunately is right next to the rope. He gets a 2 count because Takeshita, he broke the count with his foot on the rope. Briscoe goes for the cutthroat. Takeshita gets out of it, reverses, and hits a glorious Raging Fire and gets the win. And man, that was a good ass match.
This is another one that I really loved. Again, they didn't have to go crazy, but they did. And we know Takeshita. Takeshita is that guy, right? Yeah. But we really got to give it up to Mark Briscoe, because Mark Briscoe, since the passing of Jay, has really stepped it the fuck up as a singles wrestler.
Yeah, man. I think we said it for the past 2 weeks now. Every time Mark Briscoe has come out and has done a match, we've been saying this exact same thing. Mark Briscoe is a beast now.
God,
he's stepped it up in singles matches.
Because he was for, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We have, because Mark definitely was not like this a couple years ago. Like, he wasn't. Like, he was able to do some good matches and stuff like that, but he wasn't this.
I think what really changed, like you started seeing the change even more, was during the Continental Classic.
Oh, this past one, right, where he won a couple matches?
Yeah, this recent one where, he had that awesome match with Fletcher, and then after that, he just took off.
Yeah, you're right, man. He got a style too that works for him. Yeah, the Fletcher, yep. Funny enough, you're right, the Kyle Fletcher match is when, like, that upset victory is when he really starts taking off. And then he had that great match with Daniel Garcia took Garcia to the limit, and probably, I'll be honest, I would have loved if he took the TNT championship then. Yeah, he's just been doing a lot of amazing things, like that match with him and Mark Davis on Collision, bro. But yeah, that match was incredible. I need to see them running back 15 more times. Go ahead and just do it whenever.
But again, it's that thing where even though Briscoe lost, it doesn't matter. He's in that perfect spot where he can lose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt him at all. But he's always a threat. Now he is for sure a threat.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that too. It also helps with the opponent, right? Like losing to Takeshita, like everyone can lose. If Kenny Omega can lose to Konosuke Takeshita 2 times in a week, Takeshita can beat anybody. That definitely helps also. But yeah, like no matter what, fuck that. Like no matter what, Mark Briscoe definitely can take a bunch of losses, still look fantastic. He's like one of those great wrestlers that can look great in a loss, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. And he can also go for a run and just be a complete threat to anybody, any title. So yeah, like shout out to Mark Briscoe.
Hell yeah, man.
So after this match, we get the rest of the Death Riders, the trios, and they're pissed at Rated FTR challenged them pretty much. Wheeler Yuta is like, yo, you tried to take me from my family. It's like, Wheeler, they're not your family, dude. He tried to get you out, man. He tried to open your eyes.
That boy is long gone. It's over. It's gonna take Danielson to come back and look at him in the eyes like he's Jesus, and like it's gonna be something like that.
It's gonna take a lot to get him out of there. And then Claudio, he started talking. First, he started talking English, and then he started. I don't know what language he was talking after that. And then Pac interrupted him, and Pac is like, "Hey, you don't challenge us. We challenge you for the match at Dynasty, and we challenge you to survive." And yeah, that was the end of that good old promo.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think, before that, right after that, we already talked about it, Hurt Syndicate in MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at the main event. Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford.
Mm-hmm.
This match is the reason why the women's division needs a tag division. I think they could do it. The way they were going in and, tagging and doing all the moves, I think there's enough women in the women's division to where they can pull it off and have a really good tag division. So that is my main thought on that. But this match, they went crazy from the start because it started out Thunder Rosa with Megan Bayne. Thunder was getting a little bit into it, on Megan Bayne, but not much, man. The Megasis was too strong. She was overpowering Thunder Rosa any and every chance she got. it was like, somebody shooting Superman with the bullet and the bullet bouncing off. That's pretty much what was happening during that matchup. Toni Storm eventually gets in. You're like, oh yeah, Toni Storm's gonna get in. She's gonna start, doing things to, well, she starts fighting Penelope Ford for one. And Penelope Ford is like, fuck this, I'm tagging out. Tags Megan Bayne in again. And Toni Storm was hurting her for a little bit until one specific thing happened. Toni Storm, she tripped Megan Bayne in the corner and then did that full speed hip attack. Megan Bayne shrugged that shit off. She got up immediately while Toni Storm was beating her chest in the middle of the ring and stuff like that. Megan Bayne was right behind her. And she immediately picked her up and did the face descent. Pinned Toni Storm. Middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. It was it. She only hit her with one. She didn't even have to do a whole lot to Toni Storm. She hit one face descent, and it was it.
God bless.
And the Megasis, man, she getting built up as this monster of the division, and we're getting more crazy monsters too for that division. So the women's division just keeps getting better and better.
God bless.
But as far as this match goes, what were your thoughts? I know I kind of paraphrased and shortened it as far as what happened in the match.
No, man, that's totally fine.
But the main thing is there. Megan Bayne hit the face descent and pinned Toni Storm, the champ.
I'm not going to hold you. I am very used to New Japan style preview tags, right? Very brief explanation if y'all don't know what that is. New Japan normally does between like a normal tag match to 6 to 8 men tag team matches, right? And usually for the preview matches, you can look at the crews and you can tell who's going to be on each team. You can tell who's going to be the one to take the pin, right? And New Japan, they do their story things where they do it a little bit differently, right? I was not expecting Toni to get pinned.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting it. They were all expecting Thunder Rosa to get pinned.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest. Having a world champion like Toni Storm, where she's willing to take pins like that against her opponents, makes her a quality world champion. Like she is the world champion. So it's just I really do respect a lot of people that can do that, because not a lot of wrestlers do that. Not a lot of wrestlers are willing to take a pin against an opponent to build them up even more. And now Megan Bayne already looked like a threat. Now she has a win over Toni Storm going into Dynasty this week.
But and in Collision, just gonna say, somebody got to make that thing for us. The Megan Bayne everywhere.
Yeah, so someone has to. Like, we might have to get our hands dirty and just do it ourselves.
We might have to do it. Just a picture, just Megan Bayne everywhere.
Yeah, man, this was the match was fantastic. Like I said, I'm ecstatic that Toni was willing to take the pin here and made Megan look like a damn monster even more. Just overall, fantastic main event.
Yep, I agree. And the whole card was fantastic. And the women main eventing is in pulling off, not pulling off, the same pulling off makes it sound like you didn't expect them to do great. No, these women did fantastic things in the ring. They were all great.
Oh, yeah.
So, which carried over to Collision.
I mean, right? That's a very good segue. So I'm actually going to just start off soft on Collision, because I can't pass up that segue. That was perfect.
Yeah.
I can't. So we'll talk more, because we have our very first segment of Collision was seeing our AEW World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. So Toni Storm did a very Toni Storm-like promo. A lot of things that we probably should not re-say here. So I will not. I can't pull that off. Toni definitely can pull that off. That's just how she is. She was hyping up her match with Megan Bayne. She was like, she knew, she was like, oh, you beat me. All for Penelope Ford to kick her face off.
Yeah.
Toni Storm's leaning into the ropes, yelling at the camera, and then out of nowhere, Penelope Ford just boot to face directly, and she takes up the spotlight and takes everything. Nuclear boos. The crowd was not having it. This ended up setting up for Megan Bayne to show up. Megan Bayne everywhere, and hits the face descent again on to our world champion on her world title. Proffitt, do you have any thoughts on the opening segment of Collision?
I'm just going to say this, man. Like, every time there's been one of those Toni Storm starts to Collision, that Collision is fire every time. And this was no different. Like, this segment was fantastic. It was great. You didn't see that boot coming. Like, it was just like Toni Storm started talking, bam! I was like, wait, what? It was Penelope Ford right there. So it was great. The way they did it, the way they handled it, it was all fantastic.
Hell yeah, man. Fully agreed. Next up, we have the Death Riders. And if we're going to be honest, Marina kind of stole the show here. If we're going to be completely honest. To give a very brief breakdown of this promo segment that we had, Claudio challenged Adam Copeland to a match. So they're going to have a one-on-one on Dynamite this week. Also, I have to say the line. Claudio said that Claudio knows that Copeland is losing his edge and he's just trying to cope with it. I was like, you dad joking motherfucker. All right, man.
You bastard.
Yeah, you had to do it. Moxley talks. Moxley starts talking, talking a little bit bad about Swerve. But then Marina comes in, completely interrupts, starts speaking Russian. And then she said, Willow, try to keep your smile on when I rip your liver out and shove it down your throat. And Moxley's face was like, oh, shit. I think I got someone crazy in the Death Riders. And Claudio, like, people didn't see it, but Claudio's face, he was like, yeah, do that.
Yes, it's time.
But yeah, that was it. This is just kind of getting us excited for a match with Claudio and Copeland and the tornado mixed tag match between Moxley and Marina and Willow and Swerve. You have anything on that one?
Oh, no. I thought it was fun. It was just, it's so funny. Like, it's like Russian is a hard language, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, somebody starts speaking that shit, they could say some happy stuff and it sounds like they're fucking angry.
Yeah.
It's just like, so it's like, hey, Marina starts speaking Russian. Okay. And then speak a little English at the end. We're good. That, someone else that pulls that off like a lot is in TNA, Masha Slamovich.
Yeah, Masha does. I forget Masha does do that. That's true.
Yep. She just started doing the English part now, but for the most part, she was speaking in Russian all the time. So yeah, I think it's cool.
All right, so now we're going on to our opening match. Before, like Proffitt said, Switchblade on Dynamite said he was out here to challenge anyone. So who's anyone? The Jet, Kevin Knight.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna break down this match too much. Just know that Kevin Knight got his chest chopped off and had a very good match with Switchblade Jay White. Switchblade did win. He took the win. And there was a little bit more news about Kevin Knight, but we'll talk about that right after the promo segment. After Jay White picks up the win against Kevin Knight, he gets the microphone. He says, let's hear for Kevin Knight. We'll see a lot more of him. I'm sure we're going to see more of him around in AEW. I was like, ooh, okay. And then Switchblade talks about the Owen Hart, and he talks about how he's still the catalyst, how he's the man who sold out Madison Square Garden. He didn't do the whole thing. I don't know why he didn't do the whole thing, but I guess that would be too heelish. And he was just reminding us that we are still in his era, which is the Switchblade era. A little bit after this match, we learned that Kevin Knight is sadly no longer with New Japan and has signed a contract with AEW. He got a graphic and everything. Kevin Knight is all elite.
Hell yeah.
What are your thoughts on the match before we get into the Kevin Knight signing?
Man, look, if you didn't know who Kevin Knight was, you do now, right?
Hell yeah.
That guy's incredibly good. I remember him, just mainly seeing him on. I didn't see him in New Japan so much, but I saw him a lot in TNA because he was tagged with Kushida.
Mm-hmm.
And they were awesome there. So glad to see him in AEW. Glad he's all elite. We'll get into the story of we'll talk about something when we talk about him being all elite. But match with him and Jay White was kind of like a hey, this guy's the shit type deal. So yeah, it was great. I liked it, especially for his debut.
I was hurt a little bit because I got to see Kevin Knight from a young lion, right? He's one of those. I have a very fond attachment to the young lions I get to see, especially from the LA dojo. That's why I'm so big on Gabe Kidd. That's why I'm so big on God bless. I'm big on everyone from the LA dojo from New Japan. The ones who were trained by Shibata. Alex Coughlin, who is not wrestling anymore. Basically, most of Bullet Club Gold. Most of Bullet Club Border Dogs.
Right.
I'm very big on them. So I'm very happy to see Kevin Knight join in. I'm guessing he has wanted to come back to America. And it sounds like there was interest in WWE from him too, and he chose AEW.
Oh, so about that. Before he told WWE to fuck off and he joined AEW. WWE gave him a tryout. Gave him the WWE tryout.
Oh.
And he did the tryout. Immediately after the tryout, he was like, nah, screw this. I'm going to AEW.
There's another one to the LA Dojo who went to NXT. I don't remember what his name is now. I don't remember his NXT name or his New Japan name. The Wolf or whatever his name was. I forget it now, but I've seen him wrestle too. I didn't know that he got the tryout. I heard that he had WWE had interest and he just didn't go. I didn't know he had a tryout. And it was like, all right, never mind.
Yeah, he got the tryout and did the tryout. He did it.
I'm gonna be honest. Go ahead, sorry.
And he was like, nope.
Yeah, I'm be honest. If you get the New Japan dojo training, I fully understand why you're like, no, I'm not going through a whole training thing again. Like, I went through one of the hardest dojos on the planet for wrestling. Like, I went to one of the hardest wrestling schools. I trained under Shibata for a couple of years.
Yeah. And they do the old school training there.
Yes.
So it's like the old school Japanese pro wrestling training, like at the dojos. So yeah, like they're already technically sound. They don't need to be like NXT or no shit like that. No. They're ready.
They're Like New Japan, and this is not me being like a big New Japan fan, all that kind of stuff. New Japan has the best training on the planet. So it's hard. Like I get why he probably did want to go there. It's like, I don't want to, you're not going to reprogram me. Like I learned from some of the best wrestlers on the planet. I don't want to be reprogrammed. I'm sorry. That's not it. I'm not a big enough name to come in and do whatever I want. So no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. And versus, going to AEW, his style matches AEW, right? Like, he's a fantastic athlete. He's technically sound. He's going to do a lot of great things in AEW because it's just, he's going to be better showcased there. That's the thing. People have options now.
Mm-hmm.
Go where you're going to be better showcased.
That's a great thing about it. That's a great thing about having multiple big companies, right? So we'll see what Kevin Knight does. He is officially All Elite. Congratulations, Kevin Knight. You definitely deserve this opportunity. I hope you keep on Collision. That's my show. Stay on Collision. That's great. Keep wrestling. Speaking of someone on Collision, next up, we had Mercedes Moné versus someone that she's had her eye on for a few years also, in Robyn Renegade.
Sir.
Like I said, I'm not going to go fully into these matches because, let's be honest, we're here to talk about what happened after this match.
Yeah.
This was a nice back and forth match, though. Mercedes gave Robyn a lot in here. And Robyn Renegade is very underrated. Like, her and her twin sister have been really good in the ring. And Mercedes has already said, like a couple years ago, that the Renegades would have been perfect for her Stardom faction. So this is our first time they get to like interact with each other, which was nice. Obviously, Mercedes did win. Yeah. I don't think anyone has to be surprised about that. But we have to go into after the segment really quick. When Shivani gets in the ring and interviews Mercedes, Mercedes says that she is the greatest CBS champion of all time, and she came to win gold. And this is something that a lot of people aren't talking about also. Mercedes entered herself into the Owen Hart Cup.
Yes.
So the fact that Mercedes is in the Owen, my God.
Oh, no, it gets even more crazy.
It gets crazier. Then Tony Schiavone asks her about Billy Starks. And Mercedes is like, Billy Starks? Care about no Billy Starks? Who are you talking to? You want to talk about someone who's good at pro wrestling? Robyn Renegade over here. Robyn Renegade could be a fantastic wrestler. Just glazing up Robyn. And Robyn's just sitting there like, bitch, you just beat me. Wait. Don't do this. I don't want this. So while Mercedes is running down Billy Starks, we hear a certain theme. And I think the crowd got shocked because it took a second to really register who it was. But when she came out, she being Athena re-debuted on Collision, face to face with Mercedes. Both of them decked out in gold, except, Athena only has like one world championship, but she has been world champion for 15 years.
Well, forever.
The forever Ring of Honor champion.
She's a forever champ.
They kind of got into each other's faces a little bit. And Athena does what Athena does best. Athena clocked the shit out of Mercedes.
Mercedes tried.
She tried to get her little lick in. That wasn't going to work. Hector. Then Athena was being very Athena, very over the top. She was like, oh, I'm gonna point over to the turnbuckle. Y'all know what time it is? And she was like skipping over there. I was like, oh, Athena, I missed you on AEW TV. This is what we needed. So she goes up and tries to do the O-face, but Robyn Renegade gets in the way and takes it. And Mercedes leaves. And we get our first Athena sighting in AEW in a long time. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But this is the build. We talked about this before also. Proffitt, what are your thoughts on the match and the segment?
So the match was pretty decent. It was pretty good. Again, the Renegade twins they're very underrated. So I hope with these feuds coming up and these things coming up, they start getting more shine, which would be great. But let's talk about that segment.
Oh, yeah.
Athena came out, and that crowd, like you said, it took them a second. They're like, wait. Whose song is this? And they saw Athena come out. They came unglued.
Man.
They went crazy, man. And Joe, if you're listening to this, I'm very jealous that you got to see that.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad at your boy.
I'm going to give him shit the rest of this podcast. But still, yeah, man, Athena came out and she just, like, the women's division felt like another. I don't know, like the best way to say it. They didn't get reinvigorated or anything. That's not the word, right? It's just more. I don't know, stacked. It's more like it's just like what Jr. says. Business has picked up.
Oh yeah.
When she showed up, shit was going down. And hey, Mercedes should have known. It's just like saying Candyman 3 times in the mirror. His ass is going to show up. She said Athena like 3 times, man, and guess who showed up? And laid her out.
Mm-hmm.
Athena. I'm glad she's back on AEW TV. Very missed. And man, with her new confidence, because you can see her oozing that confidence and stuff now, it is just, it's night and day from back when she was here before and then after that time in Ring of Honor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, she's like, I know I'm the shit.
I mean, she's the face of a company. Athena is the one that held Ring of Honor down for 2 years. She's main eventing pay-per-views. She's main eventing Ring of Honor shows. She's the most viewed segment every week. Like Athena is just on another level. Like that's what Athena is right now. Like that's just, I'm sorry if you disagree, you're wrong. Like this Athena here, this Athena can be world champion for 2 years because she's already proven that she can do it.
Oh yeah, very easily. And the first thing that goes through my head, second she comes back, is, ooh, we got Athena versus Sheeta, Athena versus Megan Bayne, Athena versus Toni Storm. I'm thinking of all the matches, and there's so many right now. And here's the thing I'll say. When she came out, the women's division hit another level.
Right, like the division has been on one now, but really now I fully agree.
They just hit an even higher level, and those two ladies, they're going to tear it up. I cannot wait.
They might tear it up sooner rather than later because we're going to skip forward a little bit because we got to talk about Athena again.
Yeah,
we are going to talk about her one more time after this, but we're not going to do it right now. We're going to wait for this last one for the end of the show. But we go backstage. And we have Athena and Billy Starks there, which is funny because if you're watching a Ring of Honor right now, Athena and Billy Starks are not really on good terms right now. Like Athena's kind of like messing with Diamante. Last episode, Athena completely ignored Billy, and we got a little bit of that energy in this promo too. But anyway, Athena talks shit about Mercedes. How did you like the taste of the floor? Keep my name and my minion's name out of your mouth. You know. You might collect championships. So do I. So I'm also entering the Owen Hart Foundation Cup, and I lost it.
Yeah.
We're getting Mercedes and Athena in the Owen. I'm gonna say it right now, and I don't care if y'all disagree with me or not. The Owen on the women's side is more stacked than the Owen on the men's side.
Yeah. No, I was gonna wait for you to say the last two entrants to just even prove this point even further.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's right. We did have a couple more that. You're right.
We have the last two entrants after this, but yes, right now it's more stacked than the men's. And the men's one ain't no slouch. But this women's one, the women's side is stacked.
It is ridiculous. With just Mercedes and Athena alone. Oh my God. Everyone thought, including us, that we were getting the build towards All In. Nah. They're just gonna wrestle in the Owen. I am very curious because now with the Owen, the winner on the women's side is also going to get a world championship opportunity. I'm just going to say the names. I'll talk about the segments when we get there, but we have a possibility of Athena versus Toni Storm, Timeless Toni Storm, Mercedes versus Timeless Toni Storm. We can get a rerun of Thunder Rosa versus Timeless Toni Storm, Kris Stalander versus Timeless Toni Storm. Like the options are ridiculous.
Yep, and then we got Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter also entered later in the Owen. Yep.
And then we got Billy Starks.
They got two more people. Who the fuck are going to be these last two people?
If it's like Hikaru Shida and like Riho, I'm gonna lose it, man.
God bless. We haven't seen Shida in either one of them really, but we really haven't seen Shida in a while.
I think it's the good old visa issues.
That's what kept Jamie Hayter out.
Yeah, but I hear either one of them or like Nyla Rose or somebody. I'm like, what?
God, I would love Nyla to be back on TV. I miss her so much too.
Yeah, I miss Nyla Rose, man.
God bless. Just seeing Athena again and having all this up. We'll talk about this at the end of the show too, but this was a show for the women.
Yeah.
And this is probably the best collision of the year.
One of the best ones, yeah.
Let's move on because we have we will talk more about the women. We have a lot more to talk about also. Next up, we have a backstage segment with Lexi Nair and Queen Aminata. Queen let us know that she is not cleared to wrestle because she was going to be wrestling Jamie Hayter. Looks like she has like a sprained wrist. I don't know what's going on with the wrist. Hopefully, she's not out for too long. But then Serena Deeb shows up. Serena Deeb's like, "Hey, if you listen to me, you win. When you don't listen to me, you lose. Make the right choice." And I was like, "You know what? Everything is a choice. I'm not gonna listen to you or your trash." And then Deeb was like, "You're not gonna listen to me, huh? All right, looks like you got a few weeks to sit down. So take this with you." And she hands her three ring binder with the paper slipped in there as like a printer, the printer sheet paper of the Serena Deeb's 1,000 holds.
It's all hole punched and everything.
Bro, that it looks like a ninth grade project that she put together. Because she couldn't even get the whole paper to fit the whole front of it. Like it's just a normal 8x11 sheet of paper stuffed in there that has like Serena Deeb's 1,000 holds, and on the side it has like 1,000 holds on it. But yeah, that's all for that segment. But let's see. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
No. You said pretty much what I was going to say about that binder. Like, what the hell is this? Look like you just came out of school. Hey! I got my science project in here. Come on, or my research paper, my binder.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah.
Okay, let's see. So, next up, we'll talk about Top Flight versus the Learning Tree, because the Learning Tree was trying to get a win. They decided to wrestle Top Flight. Top Flight did just have a win on Dynamite. I can talk about this real quick. Big Bill and Brian Keith definitely had a chip on their shor. I think they were like legitimately upset about what was going on with MVP on Wednesday. So they had like a little bit more force against Top Flight.
Yeah.
They did win, so they did get their win, like they said. So I'm guessing we're gonna see the Learning Tree against the Syndicate, probably at the pay-per-view. So we'll see how that goes. Afterwards, we got the crew again. They tried to jump Top Flight, as per usual. But AR Fox came out this time. AR Fox was like, "Hey, no. You're not going to beat up my boys." So the crew was like, "You know what? All right, we're out of here." So they left. And that was really it. You have anything on this one?
Not really. The match was decent, right? But it was Big Bill like killing everybody. That's what this match ended up being. And yeah, so it's another one where we'll see where the crew versus Top Flight again goes, and plus somebody else, which you'll probably mention in a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll get there. This one doesn't feel like as important to put in here now, so we could probably just talk about, because we have to talk about our face-to-face with Daniel Garcia and our soon-to-be TNT champion, Adam Cole. So we had a face-to-face. Adam Cole came out there with Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly. Garcia came with Matt Menard, Daddy Magic. And this was actually a lot more civil than I thought it was going to be, actually. Like, there was little things here and there, but a little bit more civil than I thought. Cole basically was like, "Hey, I respect you. I'm challenging you for the TNT championship, and I'm upset that I didn't get the job done, but you didn't either. Like, that has to make you sick to your stomach as a fighting champion, quote unquote fighting champion. That has to make you sick to your stomach." And he said, "I don't want this to be a draw. I don't want this to be a tie. I need this to be one-on-one where we prove who is the better man, who's the better wrestler." Garcia was like, "You know what? You're right. I appreciate the words. And, me not being able to beat you is kind of eating at me a little bit." But then Daddy Magic was like, hey. You're the champ. You don't have to do this. How many times are you going to give this guy, this bum, a rematch?" He didn't say bum, but
he might as well have said bum.
He might as well, the way he was talking. And then Garcia was like, look. I know I don't have to, but I want to. Let's run this back one more time. And then Roddy was like, "Oh, you're great. You're one of the best wrestlers on the planet, but you're not better than my best friend, Adam Cole." And then Garcia made it official. Dynasty, April 6th. No one at ringside. No time limit. Garcia versus Cole for the TNT Championship. And we are going to get Adam Cole as our new TNT champion in less than a week. Proffitt, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was a great segment. And, You know who I'm going to talk about as far as like the hey, you idiot, you don't have to do this.
Oh, I'm gonna give you this one. Go talk about him. We talked about him already.
He's pulling the Mike Bailey, man. He's pulling the speedball. He should have listened. It's one of those things where he's gonna look back. He's gonna be like, "Damn it, I should have listened to Daddy Magic. I shouldn't have took this match. I would still be TNT champion." But no, he's like, "Yeah, I want to do this." Just like Speedball wanted to defend his title and get all the way and requalify himself back in the X Division scene, even though he was the champion.
Oh, Speedball, you're so valiant and so dumb.
Don't you dare do it again, Speedball.
Speedball, if you beat Kenny Omega, do not put yourself in this position again. Do not, Kenny. I want to qualify to fight you again. No, Speedball, don't do it. Take the win. Run away.
No, you know what, Speedball? Go ahead, do it. So I can talk shit about it like for the next year.
No, he can't do it again. He can't.
Why do I feel like he's gonna do it?
If he wins, he's for sure gonna be like, hey, we're gonna have a tournament for the international championship. I'm going to wrestle Big Bill and Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher and Roderick Strong all 4-on-1. So I can advance to the next round. I'm like, Speedball, please.
Stop it, Speedball.
You are the champion. You have any other thoughts on this segment?
No, I'm good.
Okay, next up we talked about Billy Starks and Athena. Both of them are in their own Hart. Crazy. We have to talk about the dramatic moment of the night, because we had Dax Harwood of FTR's fame versus Wheeler Yuta. And I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't watch this match. I was like, I already know what's gonna happen. Dax is gonna get the win, whatever, blah blah blah. Right? That's what I thought. So I was on my phone, like, looking at stuff. I was like, this should be a good match. Like, I like them both wrestling, but whatever. A couple minutes before the end of the match, I started looking. I was like, wait, what's going on? Is this still even? And it was. Not only was it even, Wheeler Yuta got the seatbelt pin and beat Dax.
Yep.
Without the help of the Death Riders. Really. Barely any help. None, really, honestly. Dax gets up. He's very upset. He's yelling at the referee. No, man, that was two. Referee's like, no, man, that was 3. This is referee's decision. So Dax hams up the referee. And I was like, oh, shit, Dax, what's going on?
Dax, no.
Dax throws him into the corner. It's like, you restart the match. And we have security coming out. So security comes out. Dax starts beating up security a little bit. And then eventually security gets a hold of him. And he's on the ropes like, let me go. So Cash comes out and was like, hey, get off my brother. He's throwing the other security away. Dax breaks out and pushes Cash. And everyone's like, oh, no, you fucked up. And then Dax is like, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't know it was you. I'm sorry. And then Cash gets up, gets in his face. It was like, you know what? I'm good. Shoves him and walks off. Melodrama. What are your thoughts on the match and the after segment?
The match was pretty fun. Dax, he's an underrated singles wrestler. That guy can go, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, him and Wheeler Yuta, that was a fun match, man. It was a good match. And then Wheeler Yuta getting the pin, man. I don't think anybody saw that coming, right?
That's an upset for sure.
But the other thing is we're furthering the storyline, right? And they're making it look like, hey, Cash might have some issues. And it's going to be one of those things where we find out later. They have that issue, they talk about it, and they get on the same page, and then they kill Cope. That's what's going to happen.
More than likely. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Right after this, we had an interview again with the Patriarchy, Nick Wayne, Mother Wayne, and Kip Sabian. They were about to start, but the crew interrupts. And I guess Leo Rush and Axel Andretti don't really watch AEW too much because they were like, what's up with your boy AR Fox? Nick was like, what? My boy? It's not my boy. And they're like, yeah, that's your boy. I know y'all have history. It's like, I mean, yeah, a long time ago when him and Swerve came into my dad's wrestling school and beat me bloody. Like, history, sure, whatever. And then Kip Sabian was like, hey, let's listen to him. So Leo Rush said, look, it's 3 of them. It's 2 of us. And when the time is right, nobody knows AR Fox better than you do. Just think about it. and they walk off. And the Patriarchy kind of is like standing there and like, okay, whatever, and they walk off. And that is the segment. So we potentially have a crew Patriarchy team up against Top Flight and AR Fox.
Possible.
You have any thoughts on this one?
No, not really. This is more the crew beating up fucking Top Flight.
After this, we had a kind of weird one. You actually talked to me about this one too, and I was like, yeah, I guess everyone has an off night. We had a Hologram versus Blake Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You said it. You said that Hologram kind of looked off even from the entrance, and I think you were right because they had like a lot of little like things that Hologram normally doesn't do that were happening in here. Like Hologram kind of clipped Christian on when they were doing the a dive. There's another point where they tried to do a Hurricanrana and it didn't really go super well. Like Hologram definitely seemed like he was like not balanced to that on Saturday for some reason.
Yeah.
But Hologram did win the match. But what are your thoughts? Because you brought this up, so I want to give you the floor for sure on this one. Like, what are your thoughts on this match?
The match was weird, man. I don't know if he might have did a wrestling match somewhere else and maybe got a concussion or something. I don't know. But how in the entrance where he does the thing that he normally does, he fell all off balance. I don't know, man. It didn't look right. Like even as he was coming out, it didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. No, he didn't. He didn't look like normal Hologram. He looked like I don't know. Like I don't want to say he was like drunk or anything, but it was like he was drunk or something like that, right? Like or under some type of influence or something like that, and then wrestling. So it was just I don't know if like maybe he did something. He got in the ring earlier and started rolling around and then maybe clipped himself or something. Or he wrestled in... No, he didn't wrestle in the Ring of Honor. So, yeah, like, I don't know. It just didn't look right. And as he was doing the match, yeah, he pulled off his stuff, but it didn't have the same oomph that he normally has. So, it was kind of going... Christian helping out and him going a little bit through the motions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like normal hologram wrestling like we're used to. So I don't know what was wrong. It could have been something. It could have been like I said, a concussion or something like that. Who knows? It just didn't look right.
Yeah. To add on to your point too, there was like early in the match. You know how Hologram, like you already said, the one where he like comes to the ring for the first time, goes off there. He also like at the beginning of the match normally he like can run around stuff like that, and he normally goes into his pose. We kind of stumbled on his pose too on the ground.
Right.
I don't think AEW would have been irresponsible enough to put someone that was like really hurt out there, but something was definitely going on. It definitely, no matter what, definitely was not Hologram's day. Like we've definitely seen better out of him. I'm hoping if it is an injury thing, it's nothing serious, and it was just like an off night because everyone has those sometimes.
Yeah, or it could have been like he was tired, jet lag. Who knows? Right?
It could be anything.
It could have been anything, but yeah, he was for sure off.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's Cap Collision, right? So we'll see him. If we don't see him next week, we know something was for sure a little wrong with him.
Yeah, we'll hear some type of report, right?
Mm-hmm. Next, we had our final backstage segment of the night, where this is where Thunder Rosa and Kris Stalander announced themselves in the Owen, and they were kind of being cocky, like, I can't wait for Toni to face me. Thunder Rosa was like, nah, no one can stop you until you wrestle me. And they had a little friendly rivalry and they walked off. Again, very stacked Owen Hart tournament on the women's side. Insanely stacked. All former champions, some current champions, Prodigy. Like, it's crazy. Do you have anything else on that one before we move on to the main event?
No, it's just when they said that, I think I immediately texted you.
Oh, yeah. No, it was crazy. Just like, insane.
What is this? This the women's Owen is crazy, man.
Easily the most stacked Owen of all time so far.
Yeah.
But that's the division that they can do this now. And they're missing heavy hitters. Like, we don't know if Mariah's going to be in it. We don't know if Riho, we don't know if anyone. We don't know who else is going to be in it. There's 2 more spots left.
Shit. You know what? Here's something I just thought of. What if, so they can continue their story, it's Willow and Marina?
Ooh. Because we do need to get Marina into like a singles match.
Yeah. and let her just be like a monster and like start running through people that she, everybody's like, who is, this would be a great tournament for that.
Yeah, she doesn't have to win it. She just looks great going through it.
Right.
Man, I can't wait to find out. We'll find out on Wednesday who the last two are. Who, like, the brackets. We'll find out on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But we're moving on to the main event. This was initially supposed to be Jamie Hayter's return match against Queen Aminata, but as we talked about earlier, looked like she hurt her wrist. Hopefully she's not out for too long. So we get the prodigy, Billie Starkz, against Jamie Hayter. Athena said she was watching closely, and she was. But we'll talk about her again a little bit later. And yes, we will talk about her again. I don't even know how I want to talk about this match. It was a very good one. Billie and Jamie were definitely out there hitting each other. It was fantastic.
Yep.
The main thing I want to talk about, though, is Jamie Hayter has another new version of the Haterade.
Yeah.
This time, just to explain them really quick, the first version of the Haterade was the Rainmaker. She was using that also in AEW. Okada shows up, can't really use the Rainmaker anymore. That's Okada. Like, you can't do it. It'd be like the Miz using the Rainmaker. Oh wait,
he tried and it looked like shit.
It looked awful. That's my shot. I know I was on Blue Sky earlier today saying like I wish y'all would stop, whatever. But that was my shot. I had to. I saw that. I was disgusted. Anyway, that was the first version of the Haterade. The second one is she basically took your arm and then just kind of lariated you while on the ground. There was no spin, no nothing. Right? So it was a little less impact. This one, she grabs your arm like she did for Haterade 2.0. But this time she runs over to the second rope, jumps off of it, and clotheslines your head off. The hottest lariats. This might be my favorite version of the Haterade. That is what beat Billie Starkz, by the way. After a fantastic match. There was a lot of good stuff in this match. I'm skipping pretty much everything, but it was a fantastic match.
Oh yeah, like her and Billie Starkz, they went to war, man. It was great, and people are now seeing more and more. Billie Starkz is here to stay, man. She's damn good.
I mean, she was with Athena for a year. Like, she could have came up with Nick Wayne also as a prodigy, but Nick Wayne got to be on AEW immediately. Billie Starkz probably got the better end of the deal from being with Athena for over a year, having a really good storyline with Athena, really good matches and everything. So, But speaking of Athena, right after the match, Jamie Hayter is doing her thing, kissing her bicep, and then Athena walks out again. And for like the last 2 minutes of Collision, they're just kind of talking back and forth to each other. Just talking a lot of shit. And this was just... I almost cried. It was glorious. It was glorious. They were talking so much shit. I need that to be a first round match, and I need that match to be 55 minutes. But anyway, Proffitt, what are your thoughts on the main event, and what are your thoughts overall on Collision?
All right, my thoughts on the main event. Billie Starkz and Jamie Hayter. That was a perfect end for the show. Jamie Hayter is looking more and more like Jamie Hayter from, what was it, before she got injured? Like, every time she comes back from a little hiatus or something like that, she just comes back better. It is, like, insane to see, like, every time. And, those ladies, they put on a show, man. And the fact that her and Athena are talking shit to each other now, yeah, get that in my veins. I need that shit happening ASAP.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's AEW this week. The main thing that we got to talk about super quick is the women takeover. The women dominated not only this week of like AEW, but they dominated a majority of Collision.
Yeah.
It was just exciting to see.
It's great to see. Almost like they listened to us.
Almost.
I'm not saying they did, but we've been asking for the women to be showcased more, and I'm not gonna say we influenced it, but they're showcasing them a hell of a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's the final thing I need them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even Jim Ross agrees with me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He even said it on his show. Hire Gail Kim.
Yes.
100%. Hire Gail Kim.
Yes.
Like, that's it. That full stop.
Ask what she wants and then offer her $100,000 more.
Yeah. Like, just get Gail Kim. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Gail, like, I think we talked about it a little bit. No, we didn't. We actually talked about it. We didn't actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Gail Kim, her mind for wrestling is top notch. She is one of the reasons why women are so great in wrestling right now anyway. Because she was able to go in TNA. We talked about this before. She was able to go into TNA. She went to TNA Golden Era with ODB, Awesome Kong, a lot of other women, and they were tearing the house down every week. to the point where if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have gotten Trish and Lita main eventing or Raw. Like, we never would have got, like, a lot of the inspiration for wrestling for the women right now comes from Gail Kim.
Well, hold on. I think Trish and Lita happened before that.
Did it happen before?
Yeah, I think it happened before that, but WWE, like, went back to not showcasing the women's wrestlers. TNA, they were like, we don't want bra and panties matches. We want a full-on women's division.
Knockouts.
We'll call them the Knockouts. And they were the Knockouts division, and that division was the shit. They were the shit, man. They were main event pay-per-views, man. Like, they were that good.
Yeah.
Like, that Awesome Kong, Gail Kim storyline was great. Almost anything ODB was hilarious and was good. There was Taya Valkyrie, but she had her run there.
Victoria was there also.
That was excellent. Man, Awesome Kong, I said Awesome Kong already, but I'm going to say Awesome Kong again. Fuck it. Awesome Kong, her run there was amazing.
Naomi looked fantastic while she was over there. Even late, like last year, 2 years ago, however long ago that was. Naomi also looked fantastic there.
Yeah, it was just that division has always been solid. They're even solid now, right?
Yeah.
Even though they got a little bit of WWE inclusion now, or they're adding more WWE to all their stuff, and it's probably going to keep going that way. But that's here nor there. They're still a pretty fantastic division.
Yeah, man. Like you said, Gail Kim should be priority number one. Like if they were not on the phone with Gail Kim immediately, if she does not have like a clause in her contract to where she can't work for a little while, y'all should have been called her already.
Yeah. Well, I get it doesn't work like that if you're fired, right? Like, you get laid off or released, sure, but they fired her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because we've seen, like, if you go by WWE standard, we've definitely seen people get fired. We've seen people get laid off, and they also still have like no competes. You have people who leave willingly, like Renee. She got slapped with a year. She couldn't go anywhere for a year. So, like, who knows what the circumstances are? Like, we're not going to know until she pops up somewhere.
Yeah, because I think last she said when she spoke on it, she was like she's going to take a little break, but this isn't the last of her being in wrestling. So she's showing up somewhere, hopefully in another division that's like is as strong or stronger than the current TNA Knockouts division, and can do a lot of good there.
Exactly. She should be priority one. Whenever you get her, you should introduce her on the biggest stage you got, no matter where it is, be all in, whatever. She should be introduced on that stage, in that spot. That's how important Gail Kim is.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Any final thoughts? Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this one up?
Shit, man. No, man. This week of AEW, again, another banger of a week. Both shows were great. A lot of good action. Our stories are moving the right way. AEW's firing off on all cylinders, man.
Well, if that's it, Proffitt, you know what to do.
All right, guys. You know what time it is. So, if you got this far, well, for one, thank you. Thank you very much. And two, I'm going to ask you a question. Why the hell aren't you subscribed yet? Subscribe, man. Hit that bell button. You're going to get this show, as fantastic as it is, every week. Every time. It's a definite. You're getting an AEW show. God damn it. Unless one of us falls ill or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the damn show. So, I'm going to reiterate again that you not just get one podcast, but you get three. You get Off the Top Rope, which you're listening to right now, which is the pro wrestling show that focuses mainly on AEW. It's an AEW show by fans that care about the product. Also, the Command Grab, which is the gaming podcast. We'll talk about all the games that we're playing right now, what we're excited for. And for me, it's going to be a whole lot of me talking about Switch 2 in the coming week. So be prepared to be annoyed. Then, the OVA, which we talk about anime, and man, we're going to have an episode cooking, okay? Because two of the best shows just ended. Solo Leveling and Shangri-La Frontier seasons both ended, unfortunately, right now. We don't know when Solo Leveling is coming back, but that's neither here nor there. So, with that, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get all of our content. Also, hit that like button so the algorithm knows, hey, people just like you love listening to our show. And also comment. Come on now. Don't make me beg. Come on. Get some comments in there because I know something in there you either disagree with, you agree with, or you just want to make a conversation about it. We're down with that. We not only will talk back, but we will also possibly bring it up on the show too. So yeah, comment and yeah, thank you guys, and you know what time it is. We're out.
Peace.